Tonight on CTV News at 6, a van plows into a Stony Plain daycare.
Didn't know if my daughter was safe or whatever, so, a little bit of panic.
The kids are okay, but others are injured.
Definitely a shock to the system, to say the least.
The mayors of Canada's major cities are in town, what they're trying to accomplish in the Alberta capital.
No community is immune, and no city can solve this challenge alone.
And
3, 2, 1, go! Have a good race, guys!
Hundreds of Canadian Armed Forces members spent the day charging through the River Valley.
First time competing. I heard about it back in 2024 and how awful it was, so I had to try it.
Some more showers and thunderstorms in the forecast for Friday and probably this weekend as well.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Jeff Hastings.
Good evening. More than a dozen children are safe tonight after a van crashed into a daycare in Stony Plain. While the children got out unharmed, firefighters rescued an employee who was trapped inside the building. She and the van's driver are both in hospital. Miriam Valdez-Carletti joins us now live from near the daycare where things are nearly back to normal. Miriam.
Yeah, Jeff, earlier today there was police, EMS, fire, and ATCO gas cars that were surrounding the daycare. And all of those are gone now, and that includes the van that crashed into the building. Earlier today I spoke with the owner next door who had 2 kids inside the daycare when it happened.
We've never really ever had a trouble being out here or anything like that, so definitely a shock to the system, to say the least.
Darren Bruniak was working next door to Young Champions Daycare when a van crashed into the building.
Didn't know if my daughter was safe or whatever, so, a little bit of panic. You figure out real quick she's okay. She's at the 7-Eleven. I could see her when I come out the front of the store that she was, over there.
His daughter and son were one of the 18 in the daycare at the time. Police say they all got out safe. Emergency crews had to rescue an employee in her 20s who was trapped in the building. One witness saw the rescue.
There's a kitchen back there, and there was a lady in there preparing food. She's been injured. Something fell on her head, and she got burns on her arm.
She was in that room, and a large amount of debris was laying on her from the collision, and the gas line had ruptured. The natural gas line had ruptured and was feeding into that room.
She was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The smell of gas filled the air after the crash, and nearby buildings were evacuated.
It was me and one other gentleman who were over by the van there when it first happened, but like I said, with the gas, it was just so strong. I got him to back away.
ATCO has since repaired the leak. Police say the driver was a man in his 30s and was taken to hospital. They say they're investigating all possible causes of the crash.
We haven't ruled out drugs or alcohol. We haven't ruled out any medical episodes, speed, any driving pattern. I don't have any information on that.
Bruniak says he's thankful for how fast the daycare workers got the kids out to safety.
Honestly, I was amazed because they had them across the road. The other staff reacted really well. The kids were all happy. They were getting them treats in the 7-Eleven.
People are allowed back in the area, and it is unclear when the daycare will reopen. Anyone with dash cam footage or surveillance video is asked to contact police. Jeff?
All right, Miriam, thank you. That's Miriam Valdez-Carletti live tonight in Stony Plain. Chiefs of Treaty 8 First Nations say they'll explore every avenue to stop the separation referendum question from moving forward. They say the Premier is ignoring court rulings that uphold the province's duty to consult with First Nations. Nicole Weisberg reports.
This Premier is totally lost, gone. Got no credibility left.
Chiefs of Treaty 8 First Nations of Alberta say they've lost all trust in the UCP government after the Premier decided to include a question on separation on an October referendum ballot.
The courts have determined time and time again our rights, yet we have a Premier that seems to think that our rights don't matter.
It's not only an attack on our treaty, it's an attack on every treaty in this country.
In an open letter, the Chiefs call on the province to immediately cease any attempt to proceed with the separation referendum or related process without full consultation, accommodation, and the free, prior, and informed consent of Treaty 8 First Nations. Last month, a court ruling halted a separation petition from advancing for failing to consult with affected First Nations. The Premier says it is not required since her referendum question is not binding. Her office reiterated that in a statement today.
And that's where I think that the court erred in judgment, and I think it's also anti-democratic, the decision that they made.
The Chiefs take exception to the Premier's comments from last week, where she also said the duty to consult should only apply to major projects. They say they can't see any projects going ahead while this question lingers.
We'll take a look at all avenues. That means everything. That means stopping industry. That means maybe going out on the highways. That maybe means doing what we need to do to be heard.
We support responsible development, and we've said that numerous times. But if it's going to come to an attack on our treaty, we're going to do everything we can to protect our people.
Nicole Weisberg, CTV News, Edmonton.
The Alberta NDP is calling on all UCP MLAs to publicly reveal how they'll vote in the separation question in October. The NDP says to date only 10 UCP MLAs have said publicly they will vote to remain in Canada. Deputy NDP leader Raki Pancholi says 36 UCP MLAs have still not stated their voting intentions.
Why are they sitting on the fence on the most fundamental question our province is facing, the one that they themselves have forced on Albertans? It's either because they're separatists or because they've made the political calculation that they would lose their UCP nomination or their seat if they publicly stated their support for remaining in Canada.
She says vague statements in support are not enough. MLAs should explicitly state how they plan to vote October 19th. When asked about MLAs publicly stating their voting intentions, Chief Government Whip Brandon Lunty reiterated the UCP caucus supports a strong and sovereign Alberta within a united Canada. Mayors from across Canada are calling on the federal government to strengthen downtowns. They're asking for billions of dollars in funding they say would help solve core problems. Evan Kenny has more.
You do not solve this crisis by any one order of government trying to do it alone.
The crisis is the state of downtowns across the country.
When downtowns are strong, Canada follows, attracting new industries, new investments, new partners, new opportunities.
23 mayors from Canada's largest cities are meeting in Edmonton. They say they're all facing similar problems and are asking the federal government for solutions.
From infrastructure to public safety to homelessness. These are national challenges, and yet they are disproportionately landing at the municipal level.
The mayors want the federal government to spend $3.5 billion each year to cut homelessness in half by 2030.
No community is immune, and no city can solve this challenge alone.
They're also asking for more from the Building Safer Communities Fund to grow community-led crime prevention.
Cities cannot tackle organized crime and extortion alone.
The mayors say more people equal a safer downtown, which is why they also want the Canada Public Transit Fund to grow by $5 billion over the next 10 years.
When our downtowns thrive, our nation thrives. That's nation building at its core.
Public transportation and policing are both municipal responsibilities. The mayors say they are not trying to upload costs to other levels of government. They're trying to create a stronger relationship.
To work in partnership with provincial governments, to work in partnership with municipalities, to take leadership on an issue that needs a coordinated response between all three orders of government.
Through the Provincial Priorities Act, all federal transfers to municipalities need to be approved by the Alberta government. The Office of the Municipal Affairs Minister says so long as Ottawa funds true care for those in addiction, it should align with Alberta's recovery model and the money will be approved. Evan Kenny, CTV News, Edmonton.
Spending time in a hospital's neonatal intensive care unit can be stressful for patients. Earlier this year, the Grey Nuns Community Hospital was using music therapy to soothe both babies and their parents. As Narmanisa reports, a lack of funding is putting that project in jeopardy.
You are my sunshine. A soothing lullaby, a delight for 1-month-old Timothy.
Yeah, he's smiling. He's smiling. That's awesome.
And an emotional moment for Mom.
This is my third baby in the NICU as well, but it never really gets easier. So it still scares me. Trauma, like, with my first baby and DSATs and all that alarms. So
Gypsy Bendoy says music has been therapeutic for her other babies. Her husband is a musician and would play for them. The Grey Nuns Community Hospital had an experimental music therapy program, a first for an Edmonton hospital NICU.
By around 30 weeks, they can definitely recognize like their parents' voices, any like familiar sounds. And so a lot of that is a really great way for somebody in the NICU to bond with their baby.
For months, music therapist Rebecca Lapa would go room to room and sing. She even monitors their vitals to see how they react.
You can see like a little smile in his face, and then everything relaxes in his face. So, you know, he listens.
Please don't take my sunshine away.
This is Lapa's final song. The temporary project needs funding to keep the halls filled with music.
They have requested about $70,000 for the 2-year program. We're really looking to our community to help fund the program through donations so that we can help support more kids and their families.
So until that happens, it's one more lullaby for now, and one more parent grateful for a much-needed distraction. Naram Nisa, CTV News, Edmonton.
Some of North America's best climbers will be in Edmonton later this month for a major competition.
It provides a huge stepping stone for Alberta athletes from the national championships and helps prepare them on an international stage to get ready for the World Cup, get ready for potentially joining the Olympic team.
Here's Alberta's Sports and Tourism Minister showing off his climbing skills. Climb YEG and Climbing Escalade Canada are hosting the North American Cup Series Lead and Speed Competition. It runs June 26th until 28th. The province is providing the event with $76,000. The province and Explore Edmonton estimate it will bring more than $2 million to the local economy. Hundreds of Canadian troops charged through Edmonton's River Valley today.
3, 2, 1, go! Have a good race, guys!
First time competing. I heard about it back in 2024 and how awful it was, so I had to try it, you know.
Exercise Mountain Ram is a grueling race for soldiers from across Western Canada. Competitors set out on foot carrying an 18-kilogram rucksack for 29 kilometers. Then they carry a canoe for 3 kilometers before paddling for another 11. The race wraps up with a 5-kilometer sprint to the finish line. The soldiers say it tests your physical and mental stamina.
Pretty tough. I messed up my ankle about halfway through, so that definitely cost me a lot on time, but I'm confident I can come back and do it better next year. As of now, pretty sore, but definitely a lot of joy and pride in finishing it, and definitely something I'd look to do again.
The competition ended in Rundle Park with a closing ceremony this afternoon. Yeah, nice and dry for them, but not for long here.
Yeah, they were probably pretty happy with temperatures as well. A little cooler than expected. Thought we'd get to 18 or 19 for a high today. We only got to 16. We'll be in the same territory again tomorrow. It's 16 degrees right now in Edmonton, 15 off to the south. Looks like we've got some rain rolling in from the west here over the course of the next couple of hours. So that will cap temperatures at that high of 16 degrees, 5 degrees cooler than average. Here's a look at the radar map. You can see we do have some rain right now just south of the city from Leduc off to the southeast towards Camrose-Wetaskiwin. You've got some heavier pockets of rain there just north of Ponoka and just west and northwest. Along Highway 43, you've got some showers rolling in. Those will continue to move east-northeast as the night goes on. I don't think it's going to be a huge soaker, and we probably won't hear any rumbles of thunder or see any flashes of lightning. All the thunderstorms are well to the south. That's going to change tomorrow, though, in two ways, actually. The risk for today for showers and thunderstorms was always kind of supper time, early evening. That's still the case. I think once we get to about 9, 10 o'clock tonight, all of those showers are off to the east of us. Tomorrow, 9 degrees in the morning. Thunderstorms could start up around lunchtime or early afternoon. In fact, that is the most likely time frame for us to see storms tomorrow. And the potential is there for some severe thunderstorms in parts of central Alberta. So we'll talk a little bit more about that and your weekend forecast later in the newscast.
Thank you, Josh. Still ahead, an Alberta town on the brink.
Are we there yet? No.
Is it going to be a long road? Absolutely, for sure.
The future of Gibbons is uncertain after a provincial review of its finances. Also next.
This is a game changer in patients who are suffering, who can't do the activities they want to do, but now can do it.
The push for provincial coverage for specialized glasses.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
The fate of the town of Gibbons, north of our city, is in the hands of the provincial government. The municipal affairs minister must decide if Gibbons should remain a town or be dissolved, becoming part of a neighboring county. Amanda Anderson reports.
The town of Gibbons is now a community rooted in uncertainty. Soon after the municipal election, the new mayor and council were hit with a stark reality.
Virtually the town was broke.
Mayor Rick Henderson says they discovered debt was around $12 million and reserves were depleted.
To the point where the inability to make payroll was on the horizon. And so we reached out to the government and requested a viability review.
That review has been completed and gives the municipal affairs minister two options: keep Gibbons as a town or dissolve it, making Gibbons a hamlet in Sturgeon County.
There were 61 items they looked at. We were non-compliant in 27. And of those 27 that were non-compliant, there is only, we have corrected all but 8 or 9.
Henderson says experts were brought in to help get the town's finances back on track. 14 staff were cut, saving $1.2 million and about $1.7 million in service adjustments made.
The average citizen most likely won't see any difference out there.
The mayor is now confident in the town's viability moving forward, but worries it's not included in the viability report.
Are we there yet? No. Is it going to be a long road? Absolutely, for sure. But I never thought personally that our first year out of the chute that we'd be able to balance the budget the first year and be able to put some money back in the reserves.
Before a decision is made, people who live here will get to vote on the town's future.
If they can provide us our services, I don't see the problem with staying as a town. But if we need to go down a level to save more money, then that would make more sense to me.
The minister's office did not respond to our request for an interview. The town vote is June 24th and 25th. No matter what the future has in store,
still going to be Gibbons. It's the people here, not the council, that makes it.
Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Gibbons.
Alberta's Privacy Commissioner is once again raising concerns about upcoming changes to Alberta's driver's licenses. The provincial government is bringing in licenses with healthcare numbers and citizenship markers. The Privacy Commissioner says this will bring in new risks to personal information. Diane McLeod says putting personal health numbers on a driver's license increases fraud risk. She says registering a vehicle is not subject to privacy law. The Privacy Commission is developing guidance for Albertans and one for organizations with access to your information. Advocates for people with low vision are asking the province to help cover costs for a special type of glasses that allow people to use them while driving. Alicia Fieldberg met one Calgarian who says adopting these policies could be life-changing.
Wow, isn't this just such a miracle?
That's how Judy Anderson felt when she first tried special glasses that help her continue many of her favorite things. But she isn't allowed to use them to drive, so had to give up the job she loved.
I had the privilege of going out and speaking to groups about the benefits of healthy, nutritious food. I had to give my notice, and it honestly was one of the saddest days of my life.
Bioptic telescope glasses are prescription lenses with mini telescopes on top. They offer a hands-free way to see distant objects up to 5 times larger when needed, while maintaining peripheral vision. Some countries and Canadian provinces allow them for driving, but telescopic visual aids cannot be used to maintain an Alberta driver's license.
Unfortunately, in Alberta, we're not at that point yet, but we are trying to bring awareness because this is a game changer in patients who are suffering, who can't do the activities they want to do, but now can do it.
A Calgary optometrist asked the province to adopt a model similar to Ontario and Quebec, which allows drivers to use the special glasses and also provides some provincial funding for eligible patients to buy them. Right now, Alberta patients have to cover the roughly $2,000 to $5,000 cost.
to enable the patients to improve their quality of life and to get that spark back, where when they've lost it, we see them go downhill.
He developed a free app to help people with low vision continue many activities to avoid isolation and mental health impacts.
And watch for the bike rack's metal bars, which could pose a tripping hazard.
Judy is thankful for the aids and hopes Alberta will adopt changes that might give her back even more independence.
I think if it wasn't to leave our family, I would probably say, let's move to Ontario, because I want the freedom to be able to drive and just be out and with my friends and have the most normal life I can possibly be, and the best life, I think.
Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Calgary.
Still ahead, the market for a popular European spa experience is heating up.
Go through and you go through the heat rest, the heat cool rest cycle.
Look at how Nordic spa culture is making its mark in Edmonton.
Cloudy skies out there in Edmonton with some showers moving in from the west. And yeah, there's more showers and thunderstorms not only for tonight, but tomorrow as well. And more showers and thunderstorms possible this weekend. Forecasts next.
Programming brought to you by the music of Harry Potter with your Edmonton Symphony Orchestra. Learn more at winspearcenter.com.
Okay, so let's talk about our different types of clouds. We have three main types of clouds. Does anybody know what those really, really high, thin clouds are called? Do you know what they're called? Yeah, back there.
Rain clouds?
They could produce maybe a little bit of rain from some of these clouds, but these really thin ones that look like silk, they don't really produce a lot of rain. Those are called cirrus clouds. Have you ever heard of cirrus clouds? No. Yes. What about these big poofy mid-level clouds? Those are called
Oh wait, I forgot.
You forgot, that's okay.
Nimbus?
There are cumulonimbus clouds. Those would be our storm clouds, right? That nimbus means they're big and tall and deep. These are just regular cumulus clouds. And then the really low, flat clouds that cover the whole sky, those are called everybody. Stratus, that's right, stratus clouds. And what do you think we've had the last couple of days with all these rain? Stratus clouds, that's right. We've gotten all kinds of rain from those stratus clouds. So three main types of clouds, and then you can have combinations of all of those. But cirrus clouds are your highest ones, cumulus are in the middle, and then stratus are really low and flat. Does that make sense to you guys? Yeah. Okay, good. These are the grade 5s from Julia. That's right, smart kids out here at Julia Kaniski, miniature meteorologist, and you are
CTV
Weather Watchers brought to you by the Alberta Teachers Association. Strong schools equal a strong Alberta.
Edmonton is the latest city taking the plunge into Nordic spas. Using hot and cold treatments and elements of nature, they provide a relaxing experience for customers. As CTV's Curtis Goodrum reports, they may provide some health benefits as well.
Work is nearly finished on Row Nordic Spa.
The fireplace in each lounge, big windows here looking out into the spa space.
The spa is setting up shop in the Ritchie neighborhood, part of a growing wellness trend involving hot and cold pools along with saunas.
Nordic experiences are just incredible. You go through and you go through the heat rest, the heat cool rest cycle. You feel absolutely incredible after. You get to connect with friends.
Trevor Stride is one of the owners of Row. He was surprised when there were almost no Nordic spas in Edmonton.
Well, we think it's a really fun concept, and we think it's something that this neighborhood and city overall will really benefit from, and we really hope that it's something the city likes and wants to use.
Row is not the only Nordic spa coming to Edmonton. In 2028, Scandinave Spa will finish construction. It's also when River Cree plans to open its indigenous thermal spa.
In Finland, we have around 5 million people, and we have 3.2 million saunas.
Dr. Heikki Jonkari of the Finnish Sauna Society says he's not surprised by the spread of spa culture.
It's an excellent way of feeling well and rested.
Jonkari says research has shown saunas provide some heart health benefits.
And what he found was that people who go more than three 3 or more times the sauna, they have 40% less of cardiovascular death.
Both Stride and Yonkari believe the sauna is a great way to socialize.
With the sauna, it's about culture. It's about meeting your friends. It's about relaxation.
We want this to be a social space that people come out and connect with their people and enjoy.
Row will open later this summer. Curtis Goodrum, CTV News, Edmonton.
Well, it's been a nice relaxing day or so without any rain falling.
Yeah, although there's more rolling back in. It is not going to be a repeat of what we had earlier this week. But each of the next couple of days has at least a chance. Take a look outside. Cloudy skies. River Valley Sky Camps brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed right or it's free. 16 degrees right now. That is our daytime high. 17s in Red Deer and Lloydminster. You got to 23 in Fort McMurray. You'll be back to about 18 or 19, it looks like, tomorrow. Grand Prairie hitting 19 this afternoon. There is some rain here in northwestern Alberta. It's just that the radar there is out. Unknown technical issue has caused it to go offline. So it is raining there. It's also raining northwest of Edmonton. You've got a couple thunderstorms that have started to bubble up in through the foothills. But most of the thunderstorms and the severe thunderstorm watch earlier in the day, the warnings, all down around the Calgary area and off to the east of Calgary. So here's what's going on right now. It looks like most of the city is still just cloudy. There might be a couple sprinkles in parts of the city. We'll see how much of this actually goes through the city, but it's a decent chance over the course of the next couple of hours that most neighborhoods are going to see a little bit of shower activity. Then a brief break. This is 10 p.m. Clouds part and then roll back in. There's a new low pressure system that's going to form. That'll give some showers tomorrow morning to the northeast and northwest corners of the province. And then here in Edmonton, things get started midday tomorrow, it looks like. Showers and potentially thunderstorms, maybe as early as lunchtime and through the early afternoon hours. I think by supper time, most of the storm risk passes off to the northeast, but there is still a slight chance between Edmonton and Red Deer for some evening showers or thunderstorms. We're going to have to keep a close eye on these. The potential is there for some severe storms in central and east central Alberta. Large hail potentially with some of the storms, certainly some heavy downpours and strong wind gusts, and potentially can't rule out the chance of a tornado tomorrow in parts of central or east central Alberta. So we'll keep an eye on that and certainly be aware of all the advisories that will likely get issued tomorrow. Saturday morning, showers are all across northern Alberta. I think it should be a very nice start to the day on Saturday. In fact, most of the daytime hours should be quite pleasant. Get into the evening, clouds are going to increase. Again, you've got some showers and thunderstorms that make their way in. Best chance for us here in Edmonton is going to be Saturday evening. And then watch how, as everything kind of spins around this new low pressure system, it starts to come back at us from the north on Sunday. And so it's probably not heavy, steady rain all day Sunday, but especially through the first half of the day, we will very likely have some showers in the area. 23 Fort McMurray right now. It's 19 in Grand Prairie, 16s Edmonton and Red Deer. Still pretty gusty in through the northwest, but everywhere else, well, the exception of Fort McMurray, everywhere else is looking at light wind. And I think outside of some gusts out ahead and on the edges of these thunderstorms tomorrow, wind should be fairly light. Temperature-wise, 9 degrees in the morning, about 16 or 17 for a high tomorrow. That high will likely come in early in the afternoon. More 17s and 18s Saturday, Sunday with that chance of precipitation. And then back to the low 20s, it looks like, by the early to middle part of next week.
Thank you, Josh. Still ahead, an optimistic artificial intelligence plan.
AI that is accountable to Canadians. AI that serves all Canadians.
The Fed's outlining how AI will be used safely to create major investment and jobs. Some critics say the plan falls woefully short. Also ahead.
He's so ill or evil, he is unaware that he needs this assistant.
A notorious child killer gains more freedom after 15 years in psychiatric care.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law. Programming brought to you by Century Casino, 3 great locations, Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
The federal government has unveiled an ambitious plan for the future of artificial intelligence in Canada. It forecasts major economic growth, business adoption, and even job creation. It also leaves many questions unanswered, namely around security. CTV's Michael Couture breaks down the plan.
This is an AI-driven product. Okay.
Artificial intelligence is becoming the norm in a growing number of products and places. It's why the federal government released its strategy to harness the technology while also placing safeguards around it.
That's AI governed by Canadian values, AI that is accountable to Canadians, AI that serves all Canadians.
The broad goals of the plan are to boost AI use in businesses from 12% today to 60% by the year 2034, to build a world-leading supercomputer in order to increase Canada's sovereign infrastructure in 5 years, and to give all Canadians access to free AI literacy training.
Under our strategy, the government will introduce new legislation, regulations and standards to protect your data, your privacy, your children.
So far, there are no timelines for those safeguards. Experts are also concerned about maintaining our digital sovereignty through Canadian-owned and managed data centers and clouds. And some say the government needs to think bigger than this current plan.
850 megawatts, right? That was the proposed scale by 2030 of the sovereign kind of infrastructure build they're looking at. That's less than 1/50th of what the private sector in the United States is expected to have online in 2 years.
There's also a concern over how AI could affect jobs in this country. One estimate from the Conference Board of Canada would see 535,000 jobs created by the year 2045 as a result of AI. But that would be offset by a short-term loss of 555,000 jobs by 2030.
We know that AI targets those jobs, particularly of young people, the ones that are getting into the market. So we've got to make sure that we give them the tools required to overcome that.
The Minister of AI, Evan Solomon, pointed to a Bank of Canada study on the impact of AI, underlining it has not seen any significant job losses yet. But the bank notes that could change as AI use accelerates in this country. Mike Lecouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Alberta's Machine Intelligence Institute says the federal government's new AI strategy builds on the group's momentum. Amy is based in Edmonton and is one of 3 Canadian centres of AI excellence. Amy's CEO says this strategy will help secure Canada's leadership in AI and not just reacting to developments. The new federal strategy aims to create $200 billion in economic growth and 250,000 new AI jobs. Ottawa also says it includes protections for Canadians from the risks and harms of AI. Right now, 12% of Canadian businesses use it. Ottawa wants to increase that to 60% in the next 5 years. Canada is officially in high-level talks with the U.S. on the future of trade between our two countries. Federal officials aren't the only negotiators making their way to Washington. Several provinces have their own trade offices in the U.S. capital. CTV's Abigail Beeman now on what, if any, impact the provinces are having.
When half a dozen Manitobans met with U.S. officials to talk trade this week, it was a first in history.
Manitoba produces about 8.5 million pigs every year. 3 million of those are exported live into the United States. Those exports are at risk if we don't have the protection of the trade agreement.
They signaled that even though the president signed the agreement 6 years ago, he's not attached to it. So there are some irritants that need to be worked out.
Manitoba is the newest province at the embassy. Ontario and Alberta have had representatives here for 1 and 2+ decades. But in this trade war, the 4 provinces in D.C. meet bi-weekly around this table. Ontario's representative says it's been effective.
We hope that helps our federal government on things like doing trade agreements, because so many of the things that are in the American interest really rely with our domain of the provinces.
One of the things I do is like to show them oil sands.
The reps spend a lot of time scene setting to Americans. Alberta's brings this oil sand sample to meetings. Nathan Cooper says the issue of Alberta separatism hasn't played a significant role in talks.
On occasion, I'll hear from members of Congress, more so out of an interest of like what's actually happening there. But it very quickly moves on to the key issues that we all face together, which is largely energy and agriculture.
Asked if some of Doug Ford's comments make his job harder on Capitol Hill, David Patterson says he's met with 150 Republican lawmakers and has not had a bad meeting yet. He's optimistic about a CUSMA deal, but not by July 1st.
If the United States is willing to do it, I hope they are, because I think it's in their self-interest. And so let's get it done by Labor Day.
Ontario's premier visits Washington next week. Alberta is focused on hosting U.S. lawmakers at the Calgary Stampede and beyond. Quebec didn't get back to us. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Washington.
A conditional discharge has been granted to a notorious child killer who's been in psychiatric care for the past 15 years.
He is so ill or evil, he is unaware that he needs this assistance, and it's incumbent upon us to provide that level of care, not just graduate him through the system where he can be back on the streets and possibly, and I believe probably, will cause a greater tragedy.
Alan Schoenborn vanished into the BC interior wilderness after killing his children Caitlin, Max, and Corden Schoenborn in 2008. He was arrested weeks later and at trial was found not criminally responsible because of a mental disorder. Schoenborn said he thought the kids were being abused and he killed them to save them. The conditional discharge means Schoenborn will be living at a supervised home in Vancouver under several conditions, but will be allowed out in public by himself. A Sherpa missing on Mount Everest without food or water for nearly a week has been found alive. The guide crawled back to base camp this morning after he was separated from his client last Friday. He was found by crews cleaning up at the end of the climbing season. The Sherpa was airlifted and rushed to hospital in Kathmandu, leading to a remarkable reunion for the family that had already begun the funeral rituals for him. Still ahead, high-tech travel delays.
They will now have their fingerprints in photos taken digitally.
Passengers experiencing long waits as overseas airports roll out biometric security features. Stay with us.
Coming up Friday on Your Morning, making artificial intelligence work for you. There's a new course at the University of Alberta to help you learn the AI basics and beyond.
Your Morning Edmonton, weekdays.
Looking at today's markets, the Canadian dollar dipped again, now trading just under 72 cents U.S. Oil was down almost $3, now at around $93 a barrel. Gold saw a $38 bump. On the stock market, the TSX is up 415 points, the Dow Jones up 874. Canada's budget watchdog says Canada's deficit has doubled in the past fiscal year. An outlook from the parliamentary budget officer predicts a deficit of $72 billion for 2025-26, up from $36 billion. It's expected to drop back to around $58 billion for 2030-31. There was also some news for borrowers in the report. It predicts the Bank of Canada will hold its key interest rate at 2.25% this year. It says if pressures from the Iran war ease, the rate could rise to 2.75% in 2027. As some airlines reassure passengers fuel shortages should not cause major travel disruptions this summer. Another factor could impact overseas trips. European airports are rolling out new biometric security features, and travelers are being warned to expect delays. Pat Foran has the details.
Europe is a favorite destination for travel, and this summer will be even busier than usual. Bookings to Italy, Ireland, Greece, Switzerland, and Spain are all up substantially over last year. A video of the Lisbon airport in Portugal a week ago went viral when it showed lineups that were hours long.
It is quite honestly astonishing.
Canadians shouldn't be worried. They should be prepared.
Flight Centre is trying to warn Canadians that because of the new entry-exit system in Europe, they may face delays.
They will now have their fingerprints in photos taken digitally, and it essentially will replace the old passport stamp that we're used to on our passports.
Travel experts say if you're flying in or out of European destinations, you'll need to budget hours of extra time at airports.
It's always crazy during this time of year, but then you add in that new entry-exit system and gathering all of those new biometrics, and it is just taking people a lot longer.
And it's not just flying, it's any mode of transportation in or out of Europe.
It's affecting all border crossings in any form, whether it's by cruise ship or by land or by airport.
Recommendations if you're traveling to Europe: arrive much earlier, especially for intra-Europe flights. Keep passports and travel documents easily accessible. Monitor airline apps for updates. Consider flexible fares where possible, and register with Canada's Registration of Canadians Abroad service. While the new system is expected to make travel faster in the future, for now there will be growing pains as the system rolls out.
I would be making sure that I build in some extra time at any of those European airports.
Experts say don't let the Lisbon airport video worry you too much, as it's known to have some of the longest lineups of any European airports, and others should be much better. Pat Foran, CTV News.
The Ontario government is more than doubling its fines for selling tickets above face value ahead of the World Cup. Premier Doug Ford says the move will help make live entertainment more affordable for the average Canadian.
We're moving extremely fast on this, and we're going to hold people accountable. We've increased the fines, I think, up to $25,000. We're making the list public for people that want to try to take advantage of the taxpayers. We're here to protect the taxpayers. They're there to make a profit.
The new fine structure will take effect next Wednesday, 2 days ahead of Canada's first World Cup match. Ford says FIFA will not be exempt. Some listings on FIFA's official resale platform earlier today were still going for above face value. Team Canada has selected its starting goalie 1 week before the World Cup begins.
Max is here today because he will be our keeper in the World Cup. This is the hardest decision I've had to make in my coaching career.
Coach Jesse Marsh announced Maxime Crepeau will be Canada's starting goalie after a months-long battle for the job with teammate Dane St. Clair. Crepeau is from Quebec and plays for Orlando in Major League Soccer. He missed out on the 2022 World Cup after breaking his leg 18 days before the opening match. Coming up, the littlest hobo hitting the road again.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me.
A pair of Canadian comedians planning a reboot to the iconic Canadian show. Details next.
Programming brought to you by Alberta iGaming Corporation. For integrity, for fun, for Alberta. We've got another great night of entertainment coming up right here on CTV.
A Canadian star is helping revive an iconic Canadian TV show.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me.
The Littlest Hobo aired on CTV between 1979 and 1985. Bell Media announced today a reimagining of the show. It'll make a comeback on Crave. It's a partnership with producing duo Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg. Rogen called it a foundational show of our childhood. Bell Media is the parent company of CTV. This month, thousands of high school grads across the city will be making a monumental walk across the stage to get their diplomas. Erie Ainley High School invited us to its graduation ceremony today at the Edmonton Expo Centre. The class valedictorian hopes to send them off with a message of achievement.
I think they want to hear something that, makes them realize that, we all put in hard work, and sometimes people are recognized for it, some people aren't, but no matter what, no matter who you are, throughout high school, throughout your lives, we've all overcome a lot, and I think that should all be recognized.
850 students make up this year's graduating class at Ainley.
And congratulations to all of them. There's the rain starting to roll in from the west. That'll move west to east across the city over the course of the next couple of hours. By 9, 10 o'clock tonight, it's all out of here. And then tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms starting midday and through the early afternoon hours instead of late in the day. Again, we'll get to about 16 or 17 for a daytime high.
Okay, thanks, Josh, and thank you very much for sharing your time with us. For news anytime, visit our website at ctvnewsedmonton.ca. Have a great day.